Hello students, good morning to all of you. Today I am taking a lecture in the subjects of project management, and I am taking in project management in terms of business policy and strategic management concepts. First of all, project management in enterprises based on a project, there are some basic parts, there are some basic importance of project formation, that is totally based on management. That's why we are introduce project management. And the next thing is, what is the meaning of project management? Project management is a terminology of project plus management. It means that an enterprise is based on a project. Each and everything is known as enterprises is based on the project. The success or failure of the enterprises are based on project. The basic theme is a project or projections of the things you can develop in your enterprises. In other words, a project typically has a listing, the mission that it is designed to achieve, and a clear termination points, the achievement of a mission. It means that the project management is based on how to develop your project and how to develop your activity in the context of cost, in the context of cost of production. That is, the cost of production is material cost, labor cost, and overhead cost. The totally based on cost of production. The cost of production is a part of project management, or it is a very important role play in the any developed enterprises or organization. That's why I am starting the third unit in project management. The third unit is financial techniques for project appraisal and feasibility and project financing. Project financing, that is a basic sources of development of finance or institutional finance to enterprises, or what are the basic sources of financing in India in context of enterprises or other sector. First of all, we are discussed. First of all, we are discussed the basic component of cost of production. Generally, the estimated production, the cost of production, that is the component of the cost of production, are based on four factors. The first factor is material cost, second factor is utility cost, third factor is labor cost, and the fourth factor is factory cost or overhead cost. That are the basic component of cost of production. And the thing is how to use the material cost, how to use the utility cost, how to use the labor cost, and how to use the factory or overhead cost. First of all, I am discussing about material cost. And what is material cost? The most important elements of cost, the material cost are comprised the cost of raw material, that is raw material or stocks or others. And that is the material cost is, that is what are the value purchased, the raw material or stocks and other types of stock. It means that it is totally based on the industry. It is totally based on the nature of the industry. Suppose it is a chemical industry, so there is the material of cost, means matlab ki raw material cost is chemicals, different types of chemicals, and other thing is chemicals components and stores consumables. And in the case of engineering goods, there is a raw material different, and the electricity companies, the raw material is different, and so many factories, so many industries are the nature of totally depends on the raw material in the nature of business. Estimating the material cost, we are following some points. That is, number one point says theoretical consumptions norms. It means that theoretical consumptions norms is totally based on the theoretical aspects. Means, suppose the principle of accounting is debit all items and debit what comes in and credit what goes out. It is a theoretical principles of accounting. So this is the theoretical consumption norms is, suppose you know the inventory method LIFO. LIFO means last in first out. That is a theoretical part. And what are the use in practical? And what are the basic use in practical aspects? You means that the theoretical consumption norms are totally based on theoretical norms. And the second thing is experience of the industry. It is the most important. Other factors are the experience of the industry. What are the experience of the industry? and the third is performance guarantees, and the fourth is specifications of the machinery suppliers. There are the totally four factors based on the material inputs. That means number one is theoretical concept, then is experience part, third is performance guarantees, and the fourth is machines supply. It is the basic importance part is based on the estimating part of material cost. Okay, and the second part is it is totally based on the material cost, means that how to provide, how to use, and how to reach the material cost in your enterprises. It means that requirement per unit of the output with the expected output during the year. Okay. And the thing is, next is the price of material inputs are defined in cost CIF. CIF means cost, insurance, and freight items. The next estimating points in material cost are the present cost of the various materials inputs in considered. In other words, the factor of inflation is ignored. It may be recalled that the factors of inflation is ignored in the estimating the sales revenue. So, and the last part of the material cost is if the seasonal functions in prices are regular, the same must be considered in the estimating the cost of material input. Overall summary of the material cost means, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हमें ये देखना चाहिए कि थ्योरेटिकल कंजम्पशंस के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से आप क्या फाइंड करते हो, इंडस्ट्रियल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू के, इंडस्ट्रियल एक्सपीरियंस के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से आप क्या सेव कर सकते हो, या अगर आप देखें कि जो है परफॉर्मेंस के अकॉर्डिंग आप क्या उसमें इंक्रीज कर सकते हो, मशीनरी सप्लाई के बेसिस पे आप क्या कर सकते हो, या जो है आपके पास जो इनपुट्स आप कॉस्ट, इंश्योरेंस और फ्राइट के अगेंस्ट पे करते हो उसके अकॉर्डिंग क्या कर सकते हो, या फिर सीजनल जो कॉस्ट होती है उसको किस तरीके से आप मेंटेन कर सकते हो। इन सब चीज़ों का ओवरऑल जो कंक्लूजन होगा या ओवरऑल जो मटेरियल कॉस्ट, जैसे सपोज व्हेन यू प्रिपेयर द फाइनेंशियल प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट, ट्रेडिंग एंड प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट, तो यू नो द स्टार्टिंग इज टू ओपनिंग स्टॉक, टू परचेज ऑफ मटेरियल, टू परचेज, to direct expenses, then the buy net sale and the closing stock, then the basis of trading account we calculate gross profit or gross losses. It means that what are the basic utilization of material cost, what are the basic development of material cost, is it very important. इसको हमको एक्सप्लेन करना पड़ेगा, या इसको हमको उसमें जो है एक्सपेंडिंग फॉर्म में इसको डेवलप करना पड़ेगा कि मटेरियल कॉस्ट का यूज किस किस तरीके से हम कर सकते हैं। सपोज मटेरियल मीन्स इन्वेंटरी, तो व्हाट इज इन्वेंटरी मैनेजमेंट, व्हाट आर द यूजेस ऑफ इन्वेंटरी मैनेजमेंट। इन्वेंटरी मैनेजमेंट मीन्स स्टॉक मीन्स types of stock. You also know the types of stock, opening stock and closing stock. There are the stages of stock. The types of stock is basically three types of stock. Stock of in a forms of raw material, stock in a forms of the WIP, or in stock in a forms of finished goods. So there are the different uses of these stocks. Means that रॉ मटेरियल का जो स्टॉक होता है उसका यूज आप कहीं और करते हो, WIP के स्टॉक का यूज कहीं और करते हो, फिनिश गुड्स के स्टॉक का यूज आप अलग जगह करते हो. तो बेसिकली क्या होता है कि द थिंग इज प्रॉफिट आपका मटेरियल कॉस्ट के अकॉर्डिंग भी मेजर होता होगा, रॉ मटेरियल की फॉर्म में भी मेजर होता होगा, WIP की फॉर्म में भी मेजर होता होगा, और फिनिश गुड्स की फॉर्म में भी मेजर होता होगा. अब देखिए रॉ मटेरियल की फॉर्म में कैसे होता है, जब आप कैलकुलेट करते हो मैक्सिमम लेवल ऑफ इन्वेंट्री, मिनिमम लेवल ऑफ इन्वेंट्री, एवरेज लेवल ऑफ इन्वेंट्री, एंड one thing is in buffer level of inventory, buffer level of stock. That is a reorder quantity. That is based on raw material base. And the next thing is WIP. And the WIP stock based on cost of contracts. The cost of contract means क्या? अब सपोज क्या है कि कई सारे बिजनेस ऐसे होते हैं जहाँ पे आप जो है इन द जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के बेसिस पे आप काम करवाते हो, तो ना व्हाट आर द यूज ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, क्योंकि कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में सभी चीजों का यूज तो होगा. कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कॉस्टिंग आपने पढ़ी होगी, आप अगर हम अकाउंटिंग की फॉर्म में देखें तो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कॉस्टिंग क्या होता था, आपका जो स्टॉक का लेवल होता था उस स्टॉक के लेवल पे आप उसको पेमेंट करते थे. पेमेंट किस चीज का करते थे, जितना उसने कॉस्ट ऑफ कंप्लीशन कर लिया उसके अकॉर्डिंग आप उसका पेमेंट करते थे. दैट इज द कॉस्ट ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. तो देयर इज द यूज ऑफ द स्टॉक ऑफ WIP. एंड द थर्ड इज फिनिश गुड्स. फिनिश गुड्स यूज मीन्स totally finished goods items in used on trading concern. It means that we have three types of organization. एक तो ऐसा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होता है जो आप जो है बनाते भी हो और बेचते भी हो, और एक ऐसा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होता है जो सिर्फ बनाता है, एक ऐसा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होता है जो सिर्फ बेचता है. अगर आप इस थ्री टाइप्स ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को देखोगे तो इसमें आपके सामने ये चीज सामने आएगा कि हाउ टू मेंटेन द मेक और बाय इंस्टीट्यूशन, हाउ टू मेक द मेक और बाय enterprises, how to make enterprises, and how to sell enterprises. That means that the components of material cost is based on all these factors. Okay, and the second component is utility cost. In forms of enterprises, utility means the power, water and fuel. Okay, it is the term says utility means power, water and fuel. Okay, utility is totally based on cost of power. A cost of power means totally power has two parts. Once again, factory, in an office. Okay, it is totally based on two phases because the power utilities defined utility includes the power, water, and fuel. Power, water, and fuel are the very important parts of any enterprises. And what are the use of power? Power means what are the use of power in factory, and what are the use of power in office. It means that in the base of factory means factory use is very high use. It means there is a value of power is horsepower, and in office use there is a value of power is on the basis of kilowatt. In the basis of another thing is, and the kilowatt is a lower kilowatt. And that means that the cost of power show here would include only a cost of brought out power, and it may be estimated on the basis of power tariff structures of the concerned electricity board. The cost of power would naturally be reflected in the cost of fuel. Power cost is a very important role play in the concern of water and fuel. If the power cost is high, water cost is high. If the power cost is low and water cost is low. When the power cost is high, fuel cost is also high. Power cost is less, fuel cost is less. It means that utility cost means totally utility cost are fully based on fuel. A fuel means coal, free wood, bagasse, etc. There are the different forms. Water means water, power means factory, office, others, and the fuel means क्या हो सकता है? It means the oil हो सकता है, coal हो सकता है, या the free wood या bagasse woods हो सकता है, etc. Okay. And the third is labor cost. Labor cost is the cost of all the manpower employed in a factory. Labor cost naturally is a function of the numbers of the employees and the rate of remuneration. The requirement of workers depends on the numbers of operators, helpers required for operating various machines and the manning various services. The numbers of supervisors, personals, and administrative staffs may be calculated on the basis of the general norms prevailing in the industry. It means that there are the labor cost. Means the labor cost is there are the three types of labors. First of all, skilled. Next is semi-skilled, and the third is unskilled. There are the skilled सेमी स्किल्ड एंड अनस्किल्ड। अब अगर हम देखेंगे कि लेबर जो रोल प्ले करेगा आपका, तो लेबर जो रोल प्ले करेगा इन द डिफरेंट थिंग्स मीन्स skilled labor means it is a part of management. इसको अगर हम कहें part of management, part of management and human resource. It is a part of human resource. You know, skilled labor is part of management. It is means also depends on also are administrative. And the next is part of management in HRM. And the third is part of HR. It means the administrative. It means the administrative plus factory or human resource. And third is unskilled, means it totally based on casual labors. There are the different rules of different person. It is a part of labor cost. स्किल्ड के लिए अलग रूल्स होता है, सेमी स्किल्ड के लिए अलग होता है और अनस्किल्ड के लिए अलग होता है। जो स्किल्ड है, स्किल्ड इज नॉट कंपेयर टू अनस्किल्ड, स्किल्ड इज नॉट कंपेयर टू सेमी स्किल्ड, सेमी स्किल्ड इज नॉट कंपेयर टू अनस्किल्ड, अनस्किल्ड इज नॉट कंपेयर टू स्किल्ड। देयर आर द separate rules and regulations of three categories of employees. There is a totally based on labor cost. Labor cost is totally depend on production cost. Means labor is totally depends on utility and totally depends on material. Means when the labor cost is controlled, then the utility is also in decrease. When the utility is decreased, then material cost could be decreased. That is a chain factors of the components of productions. Okay. And the fourth part is factory overheads or factory cost. The expenses on repair and maintenance. The expenses of repair and maintenance, rent, taxes, insurance on factory assets, and so on are collectively referred to as a factory overheads. Repair and maintenance expenses depends on the state of the machinery. The expenses tends to be lower in the initial year and the higher in the later year. Rent, taxes, insurance, etc. may be calculated at the existing rate. A provisions should be made for meeting miscellaneous factory expenses. In addition, in the contingency margins may be provided on the items of factory overheads. That is the totally based on factory cost. Suppose this is factory. अब अगर आप देखोगे फैक्ट्री के अंदर ओवरऑल पूरा का पूरा पर्सनल डिपार्टमेंट है, पूरा का पूरा पर्सनल डिपार्टमेंट है। और फैक्ट्री सिर्फ अगर आप ये कहोगे कि फैक्ट्री मीन्स टोटली मशीनरी कॉस्ट या टोटल डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस जो लेबर कॉस्ट में कंसीडर नहीं हुए, उसके अलावा की जितनी भी एक्सपेंसेस रिलेटेड टू फैक्ट्री है वो सब फैक्ट्री कॉस्ट के अंदर इंक्लूड हो जाएंगे। दिखेगा कि हमने जो है कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन पढ़ा। अगर हम देखें कि हमने जो है कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन के 3 कंपोनेंट्स पढ़े, तो इसमें अगर हम देखेंगे देयर आर द some more applications, some more part, okay? So we are discussed the items that are considered in the estimating of working results. And the thing is, working results. There is the estimates of working results may be prepared along with the following lines. That is, number 1, suppose cost of production. Okay, you all knows about the cost of productions. Next is